In this video, we're going to take a look at the Broncos box count run. They're only going to use their 5 offensive linemen to block this thing. And they've got zone going to the left. And the problem with box count runs is the defense can outnumber you pretty quickly in the box. It's easy for the defense to get 6 guys in there against your 5, and that's usually a recipe to not have a whole lot of success running into a bad box. So the offense needs answers. They need counters. If they get a box that isn't favorable to them, what else can they do? And we'll take a look as we go through these reps at the various answers. And so we've got potential for zone to the left. We also have the potential for zone read, where the quarterback will read this defensive end and can possibly keep it. And you'll see they're going to package this play. They have a flat screen out here to the field as well in case the quarterback needs to spit the ball to the perimeter. And the key to this play is going to be this linebacker spot. And we're going to let this rep run here from the sideline really quick, and then we'll take a look at it from behind and talk through it. You can see they get 12 yards right there. They catch the Bills 2nd and long playing 2-man. This is a great call to defeat 2-man. So like we said, this guy is the key to the play. The tackle and the quarterback have to have vision to him. What is he doing? Line knows that they have the 5 most dangerous defenders in the direction they're heading. So this tackle has this defensive end. These two zoning up to 58 right here. And these two going to have to figure it out on the fly where they're heading against this 3 technique. Is this going to zone up to 45? Is he going to show up in the box and become the 5th most dangerous man in the direction they're heading? Or is he going to leave the box? And if he leaves the box, then that 5th most dangerous man becomes his defensive end. And in that case, you'll see him step down on that zone step. And as he sees this guy leave the box, he'll stop zoning in that direction. He'll hinge back out. He's got the end. And then this guard knows that he has the 3 technique all by himself. And that's what's going to happen here. They're in 2-man. He's going to chase Evan Ingram out to the flat, and this is going to hand off. And you'll see they only end up with 5 guys in the box. So who's going to stop a run here in this A gap? They've got a problem. The offense is able to get hats on hats. Great cut by the back. Really good job turning a 2nd and long into a 1st down. So that rep was a 6-man box that turned into a 5-man box on the move. Now we'll take a look at a 6-man box that stays a 6-man box. You'll see the biggest difference here. They're in bunch. They're just running bubble screen instead of the flat screen. Still zone to the left. I wanted to only have playoff clips in here, but I couldn't find a 6-man box that stayed a 6-man box. You'll see this one hands off, get about 7 yards. So now let's take a look at it from behind. Again, the key to the play, this strong side linebacker spot right here, right? The line's still working 5 most dangerous in the direction they're heading. Zone steps here, zoning. The big dilemma, are we going to double up to that backer spot if he wants to be part of the play? And if he's leaving the box, guard then on his own on that 3 technique, tackle going to hinge back out on this end. And you'll see 23 goes flat-footed right here, and he's just slightly outside the box, but they're going to treat this as if he is still the most dangerous man in the direction of the play. So this is going to turn into a combination block up to 23, and when that happens, it becomes a read on the defensive end. So they're no longer reading him to see if he's leaving the box. Now the quarterback has to take a look at this end. Is that end squeezing down? If he is, and the quarterback can keep. Or here you'll see the end goes flat-footed, kind of taking the air out of the space between him and the tackle. In that case, the quarterback's going to hand it off. And because this guy goes flat-footed, they're getting that A-gap dug out. This ball could probably hit downhill right here, but you'll see the other Josh Allen pinches inside. They lose contain. Ball bounces out to the perimeter, and they get their 7-yard run. A good job reading the defense and reacting by the offense. Here's another example of a 6-man box that stays a 6-man box. You can see quarterback keeps it, gets 8 yards, gets down from behind. A little bit of a different look, right? They've got 5 guys on the line of scrimmage, 1 backer in the well, meaning off the line of scrimmage and inside of the box. So the 5 most dangerous guys here, these 2 zoning up to 14 and scooping out this backside defensive end. Since one of these linebacker spots has unfurled and gotten on the line of scrimmage over here, he's turned this into an automatic read. These 5 working for these 5. This guy on the edge, quarterback is going to read him. And you'll see right here, 44 comes screaming at the quarterback. Quarterback says he's going to blow up the back. This is a keep read, keeps it, gets that 8 yards. Good read, good job by the quarterback. Back to the playoff game. We're going to get this tight end motioning across. He's going to be part of this bubble screen out here on the perimeter. It's going to be a 6-man box. You can see we've got the 4 down, 2 backers in the box right now, but 45 going to leave with that motion down to a 5-man box, but then 24 is going to turn it back into a 6-man box coming off that edge on the blitz. And typically when you get a blitzer off the edge, nickel off the slot, in this case, safety off this edge, that's when you want to throw this bubble. And the bubble, more effective against zone than it is against man, as we'll see them throwing one against man here in just a second. So right here, this ball should probably get thrown to the perimeter. Now, this play has lots of options, right? And when you have options, you invite gray into the play. Indecision, the ability to be indecisive or not do the right thing. Well, right here, Bo Nix maybe doesn't recognize that the safety's coming off the edge. You could imagine if they were running this out of gun instead of pistol like they'd done the other ones, that he'd probably have better vision to this. Also, there's an element of it turns into a read, but you've got two guys coming off the outside. Sometimes teams that run like a lot of option plays, when they get too off an edge, it's an automatic give. This is not the end of the world, right? It is a good example, though, of a 5-man box that turns into a 6-man box, and 5 offensive linemen cannot block 6 defenders, right? So quickly from behind, you'll see the tight end leave. 45 leaving the box. They're here this time, and under front, so they got the shade on this side. Definitely makes it easier for this guard, right? Tackle going to zone down, hinge back out, and you'll see with 2 off the edge, even if this was a read play, a lot of teams that run a lot of option would say that's an automatic give. Nix maybe sees the blitzer, maybe doesn't, don't know for sure. Only a 2-yard gain. So this is a rep from the fourth quarter, and we'll take a quick look at it here. They're going to bring the corner off the edge, and this receiver does an outstanding job of getting that guy cut off and blocked. Typically, when a receiver sees a corner blitzing, he's screaming, whatever the trigger word is. For us, it was cat, 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 so we'd be screaming cat, 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 because it's really hard. He cannot move at all, right? He's on the line of scrimmage. He's stuck in place. This guy starts inching in. He blitzes. You got a problem on your hands. Well, right here, the receiver, that is awesome. Great job getting that guy killed, the penetration killed at the line of scrimmage. So from behind, all right, we've got a 6-man box, and on the move, it's going to turn into a 5-man box, and it's heading to the right now, so they're zoning here. These two stepping in this direction. Now they're going to zone up to 45 or hinge back out to the end off of the edge. And because it's the corner blitz, they're getting movement, and I believe with that movement, that's why this tackle ends up on this 3 technique right here instead of hinging back out against the 5-man box. Now, they've got the right idea, right? These guys are no longer part of the play. The 5 most dangerous are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 that corner. They're just very fortunate that the receiver gets him blocked. So the receiver gets him blocked. Ball gets pushed out to the perimeter because of the movement on the inside. The guy who now has the receiver, safety showing up out of the sky, gets it turned back to his help. Running back does a really good job of making a positive out of that play. That brings us to this final rep here in overtime, and you'll see right here, tackle's pointing out. He's saying, hey, I've got a press corner. Safety is well off the hash right here. We're going to get that corner blitz again. We talked about on the sideline. We can't count on this receiver getting him blocked. We'll go ahead and take him. If that's the case, the 5 most dangerous guys, these 3 linemen, this corner, and this linebacker, and this should turn into a read here on this defensive end, right? Well, also, when you have the blitz, like we just talked about, that's a good time to throw the bubble. And here it's man coverage. Again, the worst scenario for throwing a bubble screen or flat screen, because you've got your 2 blockers, but then you've got to make a play. This guy has to beat this guy, and these guys have to win, or else you're going to lose that advantage really quickly there on the perimeter. Here's an example. They throw the bubble against man, get 3 yards, not an efficient play. Let's take a quick look from behind right here. You'll see he's pointing out, okay, we're going to take this thing out to the corner. Now the communication doesn't go all the way across the board. The front side here, they get it. They're going to that corner. So he's going out to the corner. He's coming here. He's coming here. Now these 2, if they knew that's what the front side was doing, they'd be here and here, right? And they'd leave the defensive end unblocked. As it stands, probably a good thing that they threw that bubble. They get the safety screaming out of the sky. Great job again by the receiver picking him up, but the corner's going to show up off the edge. Nobody blocking this guy, looping back inside. Center thinks that guard's working with him. Good thing they threw the bubble. You can see the play has gray, right? And when you have gray, you invite the opportunity to make mistakes. But again, it's football. You can still just hand that thing off, or you can throw a bubble and you can still power forward and get some yards.